Okay, I'm here with another working. It's just a little preparation that I've done with regards to a situation. Uh, it's a case. Basically, I'm gonna skim the surface of it. I actually need to watch because there's names on these pictures. Okay, so the story goes: we have a female. She's been involved with a guy. Uh, it's one of those situations that there's a forced marriage. I know I've dealt with a few of these situations before, so I'm going to address this one again. She hasn't actually married him yet, but it's in the pipeline. So I've already done working on this situation. So now we're going to step it up a gear and we're going to call on the Goetia spirit Amon. This is the seal of Amon. I just not photocopied it, I printed it off on the internet and went over it with a black pen. And I called him whilst I was going over it, the black pen. I've also made an offering to Amon. It's Bailey's. Why not? Okay, so what I will be doing is just trying to be careful. I've got the photographs of the guy, the client, the woman that he wants to be with, and her father. And the father is the one that has control over the situation. He is the one that can call the wedding off completely. So what we're going to do is, this spell is obviously in stages, which is the right way to do that. Things like this. It's always, it's always correct to do some divination as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to honey jar the father, the daughter, and the client all in a honey jar so that they warm to each other and get along. And we want him to change his mind. So I think we're going to have to do a bit of domination work. Also, I'm going to bring in St. Expedite on this one. St. Expedite, in my opinion, can work for any human need at all. The emphasis on it is on speed, so that's why I'm calling on St. Expedite as well. So I have anointed these photographs with, on hers, I've put some convince oil because, we want her to, be convinced that this is what she wants and, want her to stand up for herself. And I've put convince oil on the father's photograph as well. And the father's photograph is facing him, the client, and her photograph is behind the client's. So she's facing, although she's facing the back, they're both facing the father, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to do is fold them forward like so. Jar, in it goes. And I'm going to put in some honey. Okay, so it's good to visualize at this point. So it's one of those situations that is difficult. I won't lie. Culture, I have to be careful as to how I say things and word things, but it's a cultural thing, and that is a very, very hard task. Magic can do so much, but when you have time against you and some, a big family, it's these families against you, it's difficult. And this girl, I'm sure, is terrified because I know I would be. But like I said, magic, it's a good way. But, at the end of the day, these things, I just have to be so careful as to how I say things, excuse me. But these things they have to be handled very lightly. But at the same time, we have to do workings in layers because we wanted to cause some discord between the other guy that she's marrying. So that's another, I've got photographs of that working or a video, I'm not sure. And we wanted to cause some discord there. And, even discord with the father, and we want the father, this is to get the father to see this guy, the client, in a good light, and make him change his mind, bend his will, so to speak. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put in some chamomile. The chamomile will diffuse the situation down, so that they all, get along. I'm putting in control oil because I have dabbed his pictures and her picture as well with control oil, just to get, control of the situation. Peace powder. Okay. Right, I need some control and commanding. Just one moment. I'm just putting a little bit of calamus root in there. That's good for bending over as well, and a little bit of my bend over oil. That's very good for, swaying the situation. Lastly, I'm going to put in, I don't want to overdo this because it's such a, we have to be careful. This is an expedite oil. What I'm going to do is I'm going to seal this up, and this will sit on. I'm going to tidy that little sigil up a bit. I'm going to cut around the edges to make sure it's nice and neat, and I'm going to seal this up, put that on top. So the Crowley L'Homme Milo Kit book of illustrated Goetia, I'll read for you, because some people don't know the actual reasons why I call them spirits, and I need to find the other book, but this one will do for now. So Amon is a Marquis. His let me see, his metal is silver. Luna, so that's the moon. Eight of Swords. The seventh spirit is Amon. He is a Marquis, great in power and most stern. He appears like a wolf with a serpent's tail. Out of his mouth vomits flames of fire, but at the command of a magician he puts on the shape of a man with dog's teeth, beset in a head like a raven, or simply like a man with a raven's head. He tells all things past and to come. He procures feuds and reconciles controversies between friends. He governs 40 legions of spirits. Okay, so that is the reason why I've called on him, because of he reconciles feuds, kind of thing. Reconciliation is what we're going for here, bringing people together and understanding. So I have a lot of faith in the spirits of the Goetia. Amon is a very powerful spirit. So, this is one of many workings that I'll be doing with the spirits of the Goetia. So I need to get the N. I actually don't know his N off the top of my head. I normally do know quite a few of the N's, but for some reason I don't know his. But I'll get the N and I'll put it in the description box if anyone's interested, and what incenses he likes, candle colors, etc., that sort of thing. But anyway, so that will sit on top of that, and I'm going to burn a candle on that. Let's have another look. I just want to double check. Yeah, I've got so many books. So best one I could find at the minute. But like I said, I like to use S. Conley's book. Anyway, I'm going to breathe life into this. I'm going to bring it to life, and it will sit on that sigil for a while, and then I'm going to shift it over until I'll burn the sigil, and I will set this on St. Expedite's altar. I have a tiny little altar behind me for St. Expedite, so that will sit there. So I burn the sigils, yes, and I'm not, now this is in my opinion, of course, I'm not hurting the spirit, because a lot of people, they think it's to do with punishing the spirit and stuff, but no, that goes back to the ceremonial magic thingies. That's all to do with that sort of thing. I'm just burning it as a release, and when I burn it, I blow the ashes to the wind, and that's me releasing the spell. I'm not hurting, Amon in any way, and I don't want to offend uh, the spirit in any way. So that's what I do. I always burn my sigils. Uh, sometimes I would actually put them in the jar, or bang them around a puppet kind of thing. But if I'm just working a seal on top of if a jar is on top of the seal, I will eventually burn that seal. So that's just how I do things. Everyone is different, so each to their own. So I'm going to get this started. I do have a little bit of a reading, so I'm going to put you on pause and I'll come back. Okay, so we're looking at the issue. Yeah, I can see the wedding preparations here at the moment. So we've got the key card, which is her fit, and I've got the ring. That's all about marriage, commitment, things like that, and the key sitting beside that. Upon saying that, that does tell me there is a solution. All is not lost. And then I've got the heart beside the garden. That's telling me of arrangements. I think that's to do with arrangements, to do with matters of the heart. So I think that's the stage. I think you already know that, obviously. That's the stage they're at the moment. They're, arranging this marriage kind of thing. Then I went on to pull a few more cards about the girl. She's unhappy, extremely unhappy. We've got the Tower, not a good card. That's all her distress and sorrow. The Whip, she's almost, how can I phrase it? It's like beating herself up. I'm not sure if I phrased that correctly, but she's taking this upon herself, if you know what I mean. And then interestingly, I've got the Fox sitting there. So the Fox is someone who's conniving, cunning in nature. I don't know. I always think of a female. But that Fox is bugging me. I do understand that this is how things are, this is how things are arranged and stuff. But is there someone, do you reckon, apart from her father, that is playing a big part in that situation? Because that Fox makes me think there's someone who is, egging this situation on. You know, I think a female. I don't know. I'm going to pass it to you because, at the end of the day, you're the one who knows all the ins and outs of this. We're going to look at possible. Yeah. There is hope because I do have the Clover, the Sun, and the female. So when I did ask that question about, you and her and hope, that's what I got. So, the key card here is the Sun. That's all about happiness. And I've got her and we've got the Clover. So, it's timing with these things. And I understand that you are panicking because, like I've just said to you, that this wedding is, in the pipeline. At the end of the day, we can only do our best. In life, she has her timeline. And I think I need to probably make a video on this, but everyone has a timeline and they have their free will. And basically, if it's meant to be, no amount of magic will move that. No matter if you get it early, no matter if you get it, catch it months beforehand, no amount of magic can change that if that is set in stone. There are, you can do so much at the end of the day, but I understand that the woman is going to be tied up, in a domestic situation, and there's all these people, and she's going to, bring disgrace to the family if it happens at a later date. And I know you want to prevent that. I understand that completely. But we can't control time. Time is not ours for controlling. That is, that doesn't even exist in the realm of spirit. There's zero time. There's no clock. And, like I said, I've been working on this since she contacted me. And yes, we're doing layering spells and all the rest. But even if I did do a spell when the time was, just shortly after the last one, it doesn't push things faster, if you know what I mean. I just want to say that I want you to understand that, because I don't like to sell people lies, and I think it's only fair that we say, the truth about things. And at the end of the day, we can do so much. We can push it to the hilt. We can do whatever it takes to see what happens, and we can see what happens from there. We can put a lot of pressure. We can do that, but the thing is, when will this happen? This could be written in her timeline as to happen a year down the line. Maybe she'll get a backbone a year down the line. Maybe she'll say, to the people that are all against her, maybe she'll just say, well, I'm sticking up for myself and that's it. Maybe I'm not understanding how these things work, but I have to emphasize the fact that it's all to do with, even what you want to call it, divine time, when the time is right. So I just need you, and this goes for all clients who are getting work done, I need you to de-stress, because attachment to the spell will only make the spell slow down and create blockages. So please, please, please do your best. Visualize your happy outcome. See it in your mind's eye, you and her together. Don't worry about how it happens. Just see it as it's, already happened. But, knock that stress on the head, because I think, you're going to build up barriers. You could even cross yourself up, and you don't want that. It just creates more and more negativity. So, I'm doing everything I can to help. It's not a nice situation she's in. I understand that. But just bear in mind that things are a little more, they're not just as, how can I phrase it? This happens to me all the time. Things are not just as plain as you think they are with regards to magic. Like I said, in the email I sent you, nothing is coincidence with regards to the magical arts. So it's just to let you know that things happen for a reason, and when the time is right, things will fall into place. No sooner or no later. So I just want you to know that. And I do think that, there is hope. Don't get me wrong. I do think there's hope. There's very good, signs there. So we can do everything we can to, push for the positive outcome and see how things go. But at the end of the day, it will happen when the time is right. So anyway, so thehouseofmagick@gmail.com.